The courtroom is quiet as Judge Vonda B enters, signaling the beginning of the hearing. She announces the case number and asks both parties to take their seats. In the plaintiff's chair sits Miss Stone, a woman with a tense expression, clearly burdened by the weight of her situation. Opposite her is Christina, her twin sister, appearing less concerned. The judge turns her attention to Miss Stone, who wastes no time explaining why she brought the case forward. She reveals that her sister, Christina, dropped off her 4-year-old daughter, Karina, 6 months ago, promising to return shortly after a quick trip to the store, but days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, with no sign of Christina. In the meantime, Miss Stone took full responsibility for Karina's well-being, despite already raising 2 children of her own. She recounts how Karina has suffered from frequent health issues, requiring multiple doctor visits, all of which she has paid for out of pocket. The judge listens attentively, nodding as Miss Stone speaks. As she details Christina's neglect, she emphasizes that Christina has been out at clubs instead of taking care of her child. The camera shifts to Christina, who smirks, prompting the judge to immediately reprimand her for laughing at such serious allegations. Miss Stone's frustration becomes more evident as she describes the financial and emotional toll of caring for Karina. She explains that raising 2 children on her own is already difficult, but adding a 3rd child, especially one with ongoing health concerns, has pushed her to the limit. She describes late nights spent nursing Karina through fevers, unexpected medical expenses, and the constant worry that she will not be able to provide the child with everything she needs. Miss Stone reveals that she had hoped Christina would eventually return and assume her responsibilities, but instead she has been forced to act as Karina's primary caregiver without any support. She tells the judge that she is seeking child support from Christina to help cover these expenses. Her voice is steady, but there is a noticeable strain. She is clearly overwhelmed. She insists that she loves her niece and wants the best for her, but she cannot continue to do this alone. As Miss Stone finishes her statement, the judge takes a moment to process the gravity of the situation before shifting her attention to Christina, the defendant in the case. When it is Christina's turn to speak, she lets out an exasperated sigh. She immediately dismisses her sister's concerns, arguing that this is a family issue that should not have been brought to court. She appears more annoyed than remorseful, rolling her eyes as she insists that Miss Stone could have reached out to her instead of taking legal action. But before she can continue, Miss Stone interjects, stating that she has repeatedly tried to contact Christina, only to receive no response. The judge raises her hand to silence both women and asks Christina a direct question. Did she in fact leave Karina with Miss Stone and fail to return? Christina hesitates for a moment before admitting that she did. Her response confirms Miss Stone's claims, and the judge's expression hardens. The room falls into an awkward silence as Christina fidgets in her seat, seemingly realizing that her nonchalant attitude is not working in her favor. The judge does not hold back in her response. She points out that Christina has no right to be upset when she is the one who abandoned her child. Her voice is firm as she reminds Christina that being a mother comes with responsibilities, none of which she has fulfilled in the past 6 months. She addresses the defendant's dismissive attitude, emphasizing that this is not simply a matter of family disagreements. It is a legal and moral issue. The judge also highlights the fact that Karina has health problems that require medical attention, which Miss Stone has been providing entirely on her own. She makes it clear that Christina has a financial obligation to support her child, whether she wants to or not. Christina shifts uncomfortably in her seat, her initial confidence now replaced with unease. The judge is unwavering in her stance, asserting that neglecting a child is unacceptable, regardless of personal struggles. Attempting to justify her actions, Christina finally opens up about her personal struggles. She reveals that Karina's father is currently incarcerated due to drug-related crimes, leaving her to navigate parenthood alone. She explains that his absence has made things incredibly difficult for her, and she has been struggling to make ends meet. The judge listens carefully but remains firm. She acknowledges that Christina may be going through personal hardships, but she reminds her that those hardships do not excuse parental neglect. Christina admits that Karina's father has been in prison for nearly 3 years and has never truly been involved in their daughter's life. She tries to argue that she has been overwhelmed, but the judge points out that instead of stepping up, she abandoned her child entirely. Christina's argument is weak, and it is evident that the judge is unconvinced by her reasoning. The judge turns back to Miss Stone and confirms that Karina has been under her care for the past 6 months. She explains that legally, this situation places Miss Stone in a position of de facto custody, meaning that Christina cannot simply reclaim Karina without going through the proper legal channels. Christina appears surprised by this revelation, asking if she can take her daughter back instead of paying child support, but the judge quickly shuts down the idea, pointing out that Christina has demonstrated no willingness or ability to care for her child. Miss Stone nods in agreement, stating that her primary concern is ensuring that Karina is properly taken care of, whether by her or by Christina. The judge begins calculating child support based on Christina's income. Christina states that she earns around $30,000 per year working in retail. The judge asks if she receives any commissions or additional sources of income, and Christina hesitates before admitting that she has other small business ventures, but they do not generate significant income. The judge does not press further but moves forward with her calculations, determining that Christina's monthly gross income is approximately $2,500. After deductions, she arrives at a net monthly income of $2,146.92, which is used to establish Christina's child support obligation. Miss Stone provides estimates for adding Karina to a health insurance plan, stating that she was quoted approximately $500 per month for Karina alone. The judge asks about the total cost for the entire household and determines that, based on the insurance company's quote, Christina's share of the cost would be $325 per month. She explains that this amount will be added to Christina's child support obligation. Christina listens in silence, her earlier defiance now replaced with reluctant acceptance. After completing the calculations, the judge announces the final ruling. Christina must pay $429 in child support plus $325 for health insurance, bringing her total monthly obligation to $754. Christina reacts with frustration, rolling her eyes, but the judge remains unfazed. She reminds Christina that this decision is based on what is right for Karina, and that as her mother, she must take responsibility. Before dismissing the court, the judge provides a brief summary of the case, explaining that child support was ordered because Miss Stone is legally caring for Karina. She also notes that since Karina's father is incarcerated, he cannot be expected to contribute at this time, but his child support obligation can be reassessed upon his release. The judge concludes by reinforcing the importance of parental responsibility, ensuring that Karina receives the care and financial support she needs. With that, the case is closed and the court is dismissed.